Hey everyone, Ahsan Raza here from Century 21 Innovative Realty and Ahsan Raza Real Estate. As you guys know, I started my podcast 2.5 years ago and we are almost at 70 episodes now. If you get a chance and if you like this information and content, please subscribe to the channel. Please share and like all the videos you've seen so far. And if you are a home buyer and a home seller looking to get more information and you've liked what you've seen in these podcasts and you want to set up a meeting to discuss your future plans, give me a shout, reach out to me at 647-995-7292 or DM me on Instagram or Facebook and let's get your next move started. Thank you very much. Hey, welcome back everyone to the Ahsan Raza podcast. My name is Ahsan Raza. Today I am joined by one of my mentors, one of the all-time greats in real estate, I would say, and his name is Rob Vivian. Thank you, Rob, for coming on the show.
Pleasure's mine.
Thanks so much for I know you're a busy guy, but appreciate making the time. And we want to talk about a few things in this episode. Number one is going to be the market update. And number two is also going to be about just psychology of success and your thoughts on it. But before we do that, I want to get a quick intro from you about your real estate career and your coaching career as well, if you don't mind giving our audience a quick introduction.
I'd love to do that. Actually, I'd said to you earlier, it was kind of an interesting story here because what I didn't know when I got a real estate license, how suited I was for real estate. I was 26 at the time.
Yeah.
And I sold 86 in my first year.
Wow.
And then 100, 150 every year after that. And what I didn't realize is the way I talked to people was perfect for real estate.
Yeah.
Something I didn't know for some of the younger part of my life. And then because when that happens, there's a lot of people, realtors, can I take you for lunch? Can I take you for lunch? And I'm like, well, I do play hockey 4 times a week, but I can't go for lunch every day and, stay in shape. So I said to my broker, could I just on our next office meeting, can I get up in front of everybody and tell everybody at one time, like what it is that I'm doing that's causing to sell a home every, 4 days? And he said, that'd be awesome. That was in 96.
Yeah.
So that's after 9 years of selling. And when I got up in front of the group, I realized that this is my thing. I thought I was just trying to do it to save time because I can't go for lunch with everybody. Yeah. But as soon as I got in front of the group, something clicked. And I realized that as a realtor, I'm misemployed. I mean, as far as following your passion in life, which is what you're supposed to do, that my passion would really be coaching and training realtors.
Yeah. So
I was misemployed at a pretty high level, but still not following my passion. So after that talk, I made a plan. I made a plan to have Rob Vivian Coaching. Yeah. And Rob Vivian Coaching opened in 2008. And so in that getting going, sometimes realtors, people can be a little impatient to have their dreams come true. In fact, in 1996, after I'd had the realization that this is what we're going to do, I just have to figure out the transition to that. I went to an event in Vegas and I found the room that we're going to be in the next day. And I asked the hotel if I could go in there and see it. And they said, sure, well, you can do that. I went in with my wife. And the stage was all set up and all the seats. I think there was around 3,000 seats. And I told my wife to take a picture of me on the stage, like I was speaking. And so she did that from the back, so all the seats are empty. And I have that picture framed in my office.
Okay.
And then in 2012, I spoke in that room.
Wow.
Where I have that picture, keeping looking at that. So the thing about the coaching side, it happened in 1996 when I got in front to talk at the office meeting. And then we opened our company in 2008.
Wow, what a transition.
Been a great ride, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just a quick story about when I joined Rob Vivian's coaching. It was 2018, I think, which was just around the time when the market was not picking up, but 2017, we saw a pretty bad market. 2018, I was struggling and I reached out to you. And since then, I'm so thankful because it gave me some direction, organization. And sometimes I was under the impression that you're only going to make my business better, but you actually made my life better because there was so much clutter in my mind that I didn't realize was stopping me from not just excelling in business, but excelling in other areas of my life, so family, spirituality, health, that kind of stuff. And what I like about you as well is you not only focus on the fundamentals of real estate, but you focus a lot on the psychology of people and how to talk to people and how to think. And you have 2 books that you have written. One is The Success Explosion, which I have read personally, and Expecting Awesome Daily. What inspired you to write those books, and what can you share to our audience, some of the fundamentals in those books that you found were most impactful?
There's a bunch of things in what you just said. The thing about when you joined our coaching, you thought we would just help you make more money.
Yeah.
But in turn, it ended up that you have a better life.
Yeah.
And so, you've been on my panels, at my events many times. And by the way, July 22, 23 at the Ajax Convention Center, Extreme Event 2026.
Right. Yeah.
Put in your schedule.
All right.
Which, when you've been on the panels many times there's a group of people that have done that.
Yeah.
And you kind of become the faces of the franchise,
Right.
really.
Yeah.
You, Hussein, and the girls from Peterborough, and the ones that are there on a regular basis, Sugan, and so on. So back to your point about, you thought we would just help you make more money, a better business, which we do, with everybody. But when you mention the part about a better life, there is some psychology in that as well. Yeah. Because everybody, life can be sometimes a bit of a full contact sport. Like things happen. And when those things come into our life, on a scale of 1 to 10, sometimes they're a 10, sometimes they're a 4 or a 6. They come in at different levels. But when realtors are not producing, not working correctly, and they have a money challenge, that every time an issue happens, business or personal, the brain perceives it as a 10. So they overreact to a lot of things.
Yeah.
So we do hear that statement you mentioned a lot about, I thought my business would get better, but my life got better. Right. And it's partly because of that.
Yeah.
Because once a person can eliminate or take the edge off of money challenge, then when issues come in, business or personal, they can deal with them at the level that they came in.
Yeah.
Whether that's a 4 or 5. But with money challenges, everything is a 10.
Yeah.
And so once you can deal with, business and life's issues at the level they come, that's why we hear that so much, make a better life. Yeah. In regard to the books, I've written 5 actually.
Yeah.
Not 2.
I've read 2, I think.
I'm working on.
Grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah. Okay. I'm working on 2 more.
Yeah.
As we speak.
Right.
So they'll probably be out later in the year.
Okay. Is that the novel one you're writing?
I'm writing a novel, but I'm also writing a book that I wanted to entitle You Can Have Your Cake and Eat It Too. Because the people say you can't have your cake and eat it too. Well, but 2 good things can happen? Right. Come on. 2 good things can happen. So you can have your cake and eat it too. That was going to be the title. As it turns out, that title's already out there.
Yeah. Oh.
It's a cookbook. So I don't want to take the edge off the cookbook, so I'll probably call it something else. But that'll be out by the end of the year. So the books are written on things that are important to me. So the first one, The Grass is Greener on This Side of the Fence, are all stories that I tell when I get hired to speak. So if I'm hired to speak at a convention and I say, what's the theme of the convention? And they say, getting over your fears. Yeah. I'm like, okay. So I'll tell the story about a scarecrow has never harmed a crow. Because, of course, the scarecrows aren't really real, but they're real to the crow.
Right.
And so they would put the scarecrow in a spot where the scarecrow should go, where the crow should go, because that's where the fruits are and so on, vegetables. So really, crows should fly around looking for scarecrows, right? If they weren't afraid of them.
Right.
And so people think sometimes, well, scarecrows aren't the sharpest tools in the shed. I get that. But people have scarecrows erected in their life all over the place.
Yeah.
They're not real. So I'll tell that story. And I have lots of those. So the first book was really a collection of those stories. So that one's a pretty personal book for me. Expecting Awesome Daily, you would know that all of the coaching clients get a motivational message from me on their cell phone every Monday to Friday, 8:30. And I say in there 3 times, something awesome's going to happen today. And I assume that all the clients say it with me. Something awesome's going to happen today. Something awesome's going to happen today. Something awesome's going to happen today. Because I feel that we should go through life every day. I mean, you don't get to stay here forever.
Yeah.
So every day when we wake up, we should be on the lookout for something awesome to happen.
Yeah.
We should be living in a full expectation on every day that we wake up that something awesome is going to happen today.
Right.
And be on the lookout for it. That's the genesis of the book Expecting Awesome Daily. It's a book about what would you have to do? What would you have to think in order to be living a life looking for something awesome to happen?
Right.
And the way of the law of attraction works is whatever you are seeking is seeking you. And so if you are seeking awesome things every day, awesome things are seeking you.
Yeah.
It's a very impactful book, actually. So the genesis of the books are all things like that are important to me, and we write them down. Yeah. And like that saying, you can't have your cake and eat it too, has always struck me as odd.
Yeah.
Because you usually hear that when, something good happens and something doesn't happen that's good. And you tell people and they say, well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Seriously? Like 2 good things can't happen? Why can't 2 good things happen, right?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
So I would have called the new book because I feel strongly that 2 good things could happen.
Yeah.
You can have your cake. You can. And eat it too.
Right.
Both good things. But unfortunately, I'll name it something else because there's already a cookbook called that, logically. So the books all have a genesis to something that's important to me.
Yeah.
You mentioned about the market, right?
Yes, I was going to ask you about the market update. And
See, I'm much more bullish on the market than most are.
Right.
I've been saying since about December, and still through this year, that I feel that the units sold in the GTA will be higher this year. Yeah. It isn't yet. We're a little bit behind last year. But I mean, we had a serious winter this winter.
Yeah.
This was not the case last year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that was the coldest January ever, but I don't really recall that many days minus 10.
My kids got a lot of snow days off.
Oh, man.
This year, so,
like, that was a serious winter. So we're past that now. But I feel like when the dust settles this year, I feel like we'll be up in units sold. I also had been predicting that I don't think we'll have near the inventory this year.
Yeah.
We ended up at 33,000 last year. I don't think we're going anywhere near there this year. We're probably going to be around 25 at the high. It's sitting around 20, just under 21 right now.
Yeah.
But at the end of March last year, we're already at 25. Right. It was on a much more aggressive uphill climb last year. Last year, 2025, to this date, we'd increased the inventory by 40%. This year's 20. It's not on that fast track. I don't see that happening again. So I love what I do. I would never go back to being a realtor, although I keep my license. Yeah. I do all the courses and everything, pay my dues. I just want to help Josh, my son. Yeah. And but if I was a realtor, I'd be very excited about this particular year. That we're going to end up, and there's not going to be as much inventory. This would be a very exciting year to be a realtor if you're thinking straight. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I've got tons of questions. If you have a few minutes left, I want to ask you. Going back to the psychology part of it. So every time you come to your seminar, you talk a lot about things, for example, like we become what we think about. That's something you always harp on quite a bit, which that's kind of become my mantra as well. And just thinking about that, I think over the years and just you explaining that concept has gotten me to a better place in terms of my clarity and what life looks like. And another principle that you taught to us or mentioned to us in our call was don't let success get to your head and don't let failure get to your heart. So I've got a bunch that I can rhyme off for you, but the one about we become what we think about, that is so important. And I remember you mentioning a story in your seminar one time about you saw a lady at a pharmacy or something and she wasn't sick, but she was
getting medicines because she was going to get sick or she was anticipating getting sick, and then you were like, well, if you think that way, you are going to get sick, right? So for our audience, if you can maybe talk a little bit about that, think about we become what we think about and what that means.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things in there. That story's at a pharmacy, actually.
Okay.
And because I talk to people everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I'm the guy that talks to people on an elevator.
Right.
Or, I'm talking all the time to people. So I was in a pharmacy a few years ago, and then it was like, I don't know, September, October, getting to be fall. She was stocking up on, NyQuil and Halls. And I said, is someone in the house sick? She goes, no, but I get sick this time of year.
Yeah.
And so I'm stocking up. I said, you ever think that you might be getting sick because you keep buying all that stuff?
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, just chit-chatting. Like, I don't want to take this lady, at the Guardian Pharmacy down the path of you become what you think about. But it was interesting that about 3 weeks ago, I was at a rally about you become what you think about. We teach it a lot.
Yeah.
It's an absolute. But not all coaching companies do.
Yeah.
And so there was a bunch of speakers at this rally, and the speaker before me, whom everybody would know, is a company that don't include psychology at all. Just prospect every day. And so he said this statement that the law of attraction is a complicated thing.
Yeah.
It's a moving target.
Yeah.
Nobody can explain it. You're best just to ignore it and make 20 contacts a day. And I was thinking, okay, so that isn't true. Although making 20 contacts a day, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But the other part is not true. It's just that they don't understand it, or he doesn't understand it. But it would be this. If law of attraction, what you're thinking is attracting in your life, and this principle is neutral. It doesn't know good from bad, right from wrong, or moral from immoral.
Yeah.
It only knows what you're thinking on, you're attracting that thing. And so if that didn't exist, everybody on the planet would live in what would be a 50-50 world.
Yeah.
So law of average, or the luck of the draw, would be business and personal. Half the things would go your way, half the things wouldn't go your way.
Right.
That'd be the luck of the draw, because you're not attracting anything.
Yeah.
But because the law of attraction is true, nobody lives in the 50-50 world. Everybody lives in a 70-30 world. 7 out of 10 things break in your way.
Yeah.
So of every 10 things, business personal, 7 out of 10 break your way.
Yeah.
Or you live in a 30-70 world.
Right.
Out of every 10 things, 3 break your way and 7 do not. Most things break against you.
Yeah.
So everybody on the planet, you're thinking, if you're a glass half full kind of guy, which you are, you would live in a 70-30 world.
Yeah.
Not everything goes your way. Nobody lives in a 10-0. 70-30 or 30-70. 70-30 or 30-70. So when the clients call, which they do a lot, and they say, how's it going, Rob? And I say, everything's coming up, Rob. And then they say, I'm glad everything's going your way.
Yeah.
I say, that's not what I meant. When I say everything's coming up, Rob, at this particular point in my life, 7 out of 10 things are breaking my way.
Yeah.
Because I live in a 70-30 world. Everybody does. Or a 30-70, 70-30, 30-70. And glass half full kind of people, which, by the way, would be only about 2 or 3% of the people on the planet.
Oh, yeah?
Living in a 70-30 world.
Okay.
And then the majority, 30-70, most things break against them. And the people that live in the 30-70 world, I mean, they would blame it on, the government, Donald Trump, this and that. Wars going on in the world, they blame it on those things. But the truth is, it's just their thinking is negative, so they're attracting a couple extra negative things. And those people that live in the 30-70 world, if you want to meet a bunch of them, July the 12th, come to my family reunion. I'll introduce you to those cast of characters, or I'll go to yours. Same thing, yes? But the people that live in the 30-70, because most things break against them because of their thinking, they have a favorite saying, and that is, when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours. When something else happens, they say, when it rains, it pours. Yeah. The 70-30 people never say, when it rains, it pours. Because most things break their way. Our thinking would dictate, do we live in the 30-70, 3%, or 70-30, 3%, or 30-70, 97%. In fact, in the GTA last year, Treb, 3% of the realtors sold all the homes. 97% struggled.
Yeah.
It's just this. So when somebody says the law of attraction, you become, you think about it, it's a moving target, it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's ridiculously simple. If without it, we'd all live in a 50-50 world.
Yeah.
Positive thinking creates a few more positive, 70-30. Negative thinking creates a few more negatives, 30-70.
Yeah.
It's really quite basic. Maybe I should call that maybe that should be the name of the book, 70-30.
Not bad, yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get so involved in the psychology part of coaching? Because I've been through a bunch of programs before yours, and some were good, some were not that great. But I felt that with you guys and you specifically, psychology is such a big thing. And did you study it? Did you just experience through your own life? What was the motivation for
study and experience, but study, learn. But the thing is with that is I got licensed in 87.
Yeah.
So the internet wasn't invented until 3 years after I got a real estate license, which would horrify some of your younger clients, you. So I sold 3 years without a cell phone or internet.
Yeah.
Then that all came around. And so the public didn't used to be smart about real estate.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the mid-90s that it even went on the internet. And so in the beginning of my career, the public didn't know anything. So even though I was familiar with a lot of psychology, I didn't use it because it wasn't necessary. In fact, you shouldn't sell with blah, 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 blah if blah would work.
Yeah.
Right. So I had all this psychology that I didn't use too much because they didn't know anything about real estate. But then over time, they keep getting smarter to now when you get a sign call and they say, is that property available? And you say sold conditional. And they say financing inspection for 5 banking days. And you say, are you a realtor? No, you're talking like one.
Yeah.
They're getting smarter.
Yeah.
So first they were here. So we use the psychology here.
Yeah.
And then as they get smarter, we keep adding more. So since you have been with us, we've changed our scripts twice.
Yeah.
Because we just keep adding a bit more in to stay ahead of the curve.
Right.
So we can just be a little bit more, because when people don't know about an item, a topic, real estate, back in the day, they don't have any what are called psychological rights.
Yeah.
But when you gain knowledge about something, you now have an opinion. That's called psychological rights.
Yeah.
So when I was a new realtor in 87, 26, 27 years old, going on a listing appointment with a couple in their 60s, they would dress up for the appointment. Not in a suit like I have on, but like what you have on.
Okay.
Nicer clothes.
Yeah.
Because a realtor's going to be in the house, like they were going to the bank for an appointment. And if they had a question, they put their hand up.
Really?
Yeah, they put their hand up. They have no rights.
Yeah.
Because they have no knowledge.
Yeah.
And then they would say something like, look, we were just talking today, not that it's a big deal, but is there any flexibility on the commission? And I would say, that's what it costs. And they go, okay. And that'd be it. But that's not how it is now. So the psychology connected to handling the commission wasn't required in the beginning. So it's learned from me and experience. And we have more.
Right.
There's psychology that we have you haven't heard of yet. But as the public is getting smarter, we will keep staying ahead of the curve. We changed our scripts 5 times since when we opened in 08. And we have more psychology that we don't mix in yet.
Yeah.
But we will when it becomes necessary. We'll stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. You have some great programs coming up, which we have on the screen as well. So what are some things that you have coming up in terms of the, not just seminars, but the scripts and dialogues and other events and things you have that you can promote?
So we run our 8-week scripts and dialogues program once a year. It starts on March 30th. Yeah. For coaching clients, it's included in coaching. For everyone else, it's $299. Yeah. It's a program that it's our most advanced psychological program. And we are tapping a part of the brain that is geared toward learning if you give it repetition. So it'll be 8 weeks, Mondays, 1 o'clock, 2:30 for 8 weeks in a row. Actually, it'll be 10 weeks because Easter in there is in May long weekends in there. Just go over to the next week. And each one, we're tapping a part of the brain that when we finish the live stream, what we did on there keeps ingraining for 4 days, which is why it's spaced out. And so later down the road, when they get in a position, someone says, well, I don't want to go quite that high, that on the price, that objection handler would be ingrained in, and they'll be able to say it, right? We used to charge $500 for that 8-week program. Yeah. It's worth more than that. But the truth is, we're just trying to get our programs. There's already more than 50 or 60 people registered. It's not like we're trying to fill it up. It's full already, but it's live stream, go more. But we streamlined our prices this year for non-clients to $299. Everything's going to be $299. Scripts and dialogues starting then. They can sign up at my website. I think it's on the scrreen there. It actually is on the top corner. So if you go to my website, you click and then you just sign up. It's $299. That's fantastic. And that's all they can, like the July 22, 23, I can't put up there yet.
Yeah.
Because it'll confuse realtors. So they can sign up for that. But the thing about coaching is, it's funny that the realtors have such an opportunity to make such an impact for their family legacy financially. Yeah. And somehow they're so adverse sometimes to coaching, whereas there's no such thing as a professional athlete that doesn't have, I have a coach and I'm running the company. Mine's way more expensive than yours is. It's just like, it's what serious business people do. Yeah. And our programs are crazy inexpensive. Like our one-on-one coaching, $700 a month, which is like $9,000 a year. Which that means a person would be committing a half a transaction in a year to drive their company, to drive their business through the roof. Yeah. And our ultimate coaching, which is $299, which is going to be about $36, which is like double ending a rental, and which most of us are trying not to do because there's not enough money.
Right.
Yet they could be in our ultimate coaching for a year, which would be equivalent to double lending a rental. Yeah. So, when I was in a realtor, I was in coaching myself, paying $1,000 a month US. The dollar was 50 cents at the time. I was paying $1,800, $2,200 a month when the average commission was $4,000. Yeah. And I thought that was worth it. Now, here in the GTA, $20,000 a shot. Yeah. Give us a half a transaction or a double-ended rental. Yeah. And we'll organize your life for you. Yeah. But real's like,
What you always preach is that as long as you do your part, the results will come. And I find that there's two types of people. One type of person is who will do the work, but they don't think positively. And there's the other one that thinks so positively, but they don't do the work. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of where the mix-up is. And I think you got to do both. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, there's to be a successful realtor, you have to embrace what's called repetitious boredom. Yeah. It's a psychological principle. Because, for most people watching, I think if a realtor sold 20 homes without me being over dramatic, I think that'd be life-changing for most realtors to jump from where they are to, what would that be, 350, 400 grand? Yeah. Right? But what is that 20 transactions in 365 days? If you sell them all on different days and don't double end anything, you're not selling a house 345 days. Right. So of course, there's going to be many days where nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Most days, nothing's happening. Yeah. But at the end of the day, at the end of the year, you ended up with 20. Yeah. And honestly, I think that would salvage people, realtors. Yeah. So the repetitious boredom is just most days, nothing is happening on most days. True. That's just the way it is. You can't have something has to happen every day. Well, I don't think it can unless you're going to sell 100 homes. Yeah. So there's just, all you can do is do your job every day. Yeah. Just do your job every day. Embrace the repetitious boredom and
something will happen.
Live an awesome life.
That's it. Last two questions, I promise. Your vacation theory, which I think is phenomenal. It works for me all the time. Whenever I go away for a vacation, I find that I get more calls from clients and customers. And I think this is also not just real estate related, but business in general. But what is it about that vacation theory that sort of just amps up people's business?
It's actually not an accident. Okay. in the real estate industry, we don't understand it, so we make a joke about it. If you want to get busy, take a vacation.
Yeah.
That's what we say. But what actually happens in the brain is 10% conscious mind and 90% subconscious. The bigger part is the subconscious mind. That's where all the magic is. And when a person books to go down to, say, the Caribbean in February or January, it's cold. About 72 hours before they leave, so Wednesday, the phone starts ringing. So they get a call from a buyer. Hey, it's time to get looking. They say, that's awesome. Yeah. But you're thinking, you're kidding me, right? You're kidding me, right? The next day, a seller calls. Okay, well, it's time to get listed. They say, that's great. But they're thinking, you're kidding me, right? Because they're leaving in 72 hours, or in this case, 48 hours for the second one. And what actually happens there is the subconscious mind leaves early, 72 hours early. Yeah. And what it takes with it is all of the junk that's residing in your subconscious mind from negative thinking. It takes it with it. So it clears your mind out. And when it clears your mind out, you become highly magnetic to business. Yeah. So that's what happens. So we teach 8 weeks vacation, yes? But the truth is, if you're a 70-30 person, like you living on the positive side of life, that 72 hours can be permanent.
Right.
But that is what happens. The subconscious mind goes sooner. When people are leaving on Saturday and they're saying, I'm explaining this to them because they're going crazy right now. Yeah. And then they say, no, I'm focused here. No, you are consciously. I get that. Yeah. I can assure you, your subconscious mind is on the beach drinking pina coladas right now. Yeah. And all that nonsense in your brain that's bogging you down is with it. So your brain just got cleaned out and you just became highly magnetic to leads. Yeah. Right? That's what happens.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a serious note. Vacation is very important for...
So on that note, again, when I teach 8 weeks vacation, a lot of realtors say to me, I can't wait to get to the production level that I can take 8 weeks vacation.
Right.
But I said, you're not looking at it right. Your odds are higher hitting your goals with the 8 weeks vacation because of what we're talking about. Yeah. You want to be busier, book more time off. Yeah. 2 weeks every 90 days.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's always worked. And I just came back from a trip to Windsor last weekend. And I mean, calls.
Windsor, England or Windsor?
No, Windsor, Ontario. It was still
not much of a trip.
My brother had a basketball tournament there, so we were there for a couple nights. But I mean, just the fact that you said the subconscious mind kind of just goes away a little bit. And when you come back, or even when you're on the trip, it's like, like calls are coming in, and I truly believe that. So if you're listening out there and you're struggling, I mean, vacations, it's a really, really good technique, and it's true. It works.
It's not really a technique. It's just a principle.
It's a principle.
Yeah. It's just how the brain works.
Yeah. The last few personal questions now I want to ask you is, number one, what is your favorite movie that you have watched of all time?
Wow. See, for me, I like action movies with very little plot. It's just lots of things blowing up. Okay. So that would make me partial to like Mission Impossible movies, Bond, stuff where there's a lot of action.
Die Hard, maybe.
Yeah, Christmas time. Yeah. So I like action movies where, and I have to admit also, this will probably hurt my reputation a little bit, but I also do like those Hallmark movies where they're like little murder mystery clubs. Okay. And they solve murders. Yeah. I kind of like them too. They're kind of fun. Yeah. But I would have to say action movies with lots of things blowing up. Okay. And not a lot. I have a pretty busy life. I don't need to try to figure a plot out. Okay, it's like
go into like those dramas or
not so much. Just lots of things blowing up, the better.
Gotcha.
But trust the special effects now.
Yeah.
Are amazing.
I know.
So when it's like the movie 2012. When they actually, the California actually started to fall into the sea, it was like how they were doing it. Like you're watching it going, like how they do that? Right. It's incredible, actually. Yeah. I like special effects.
With AI as well, like it's pretty crazy. What's your favorite book you've read, aside from the ones you wrote?
So it's my 6th favorite book, right? I just finished reading. I mentioned earlier that I liked murder mysteries, right? So I just finished reading 5 books. They're called the Thursday Night Murder Club. Yeah. They actually just did a Netflix series on one of the books. And it's a bunch of seniors in England. They're in a seniors home and they solve murders. I found them really fun. There's 5 of them out. I just finished reading all 5 of them. Okay. I really like them.
There's a movie on that now?
Yeah, that Netflix did a movie called The Thursday Murder Nightclub.
Okay.
And it was the first book.
That sounds cool.
And it's these seniors in the... I like those kind of movies for solving mysteries like that. So amazing. I just read them, so I liked them.
Yeah.
But if I would pick a motivational book that I like the best, I would have to go old school to The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah.
If that's the 6th best motivational book. Soon to be the 7th. Yeah. It's just habits. Yeah. Also, another really good book is The 4 Agreements. The 4 Agreements.
I haven't heard of that or read that, yeah.
Miguel Ruiz. It's the 4 agreements that you make with yourself.
Yeah.
I read it so many years ago. I'm not sure I can remember all 4 of them, but always do your best. Yeah. Don't take things personal. And 2 others. It's been 30 years since I read it, but very impactful as far as these are the 4 agreements you make with yourself. Always do your best. Don't take things personal. Never make assumptions, and then 1 other.
Right.
It's actually not a very big book.
Yeah.
It's probably only got 25,000 words.
Okay. We'll check those out as well. And last question is...
You said last question quite a few times.
I know. Sorry. This is really... It's a fun
really?
podcast. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. So I have tons of questions, but I know you're on a time limit as well. But you've given us a lot of advice over the years. But Rob, what would you say is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Wow, that is a really...
Save the best for last.
That is a really big question. That's involving a lot of people that have impacted my life in a really big way.
Right.
I had an older gentleman say to me one time, if you always tell the truth, you never have to remember what you said. I remember when he said that to me, I thought about that for weeks.
Right.
That would be the only time somebody said something to me that I actually thought about it for weeks.
Right.
I mean, in the real estate industry, there's a lot of opportunities to say things a certain way to try to make some deals or get a listing.
Yeah.
So if you always tell the truth, you never have to remember what you said.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have one more last question, or are we good?
Maybe part 2. We'll do a part 2.
Right. I would love that.
Yeah, definitely. That was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Rob. Really appreciate you having on. And we'll have Rob's links and captions up on the podcast as well. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any more questions about Rob or his programs, do reach out, and we'll see you in the next episode.